Equations. Before we've been doing expressions, and how do we know that we're looking at an expression?
Doesn't have an equal sign?
Doesn't have an equal sign. So we think the big difference with equations is going to be?
Equal sign.
Equal sign. So equations will have nice big equals sign. So what you're going to see on an equation is two expressions. This equal sign is like a balance. There's going to be stuff on the left and stuff on the right. So what you see on the left is an expression. And we're going to say it equals some other expression. So equations. You have an expression on the left and an expression on the right. And we can do the same things we've been talking about with the expressions on the left and right that we do with just regular expressions. But when we start with equations, we're going to start really, really, really simple. So we start with objective 38 and some really simple ones that we're going to practice with. So practice with equations. And so I got one like this. Now when I say an equation is two expressions, so you look over on the left and you see this. It's an expression. It's a collection of algebra junk over here on the left. Over on the right, it's a number. There could be more stuff. In this case, it's just a number, so it's an expression over there. So what is an equation? Really, it's two expressions with an equal sign in between. An expression is a collection of algebra junk. An equation is two expressions with an equal sign between. Now, here's what really just blows people's minds is when they come to a math class and they get up to middle school, high school, and then they go, when did they start putting letters and stuff? Okay, that X right there, really all it is, it's holding the place for some unknown number. If you don't like the letter X, think of it like this. What number plus 3 equals 28? For some reason, we seem to understand the question mark better than the X. What we're really asking when you see X plus 3 equals 28 is what number, if you added 3 to it, would give you 28?
25.
It's 25. That's all you're trying to figure out is that the thing that goes here, which is where the X was, what number should it have been? 25. Because 25 plus 3 is 28.
So the answer, like X equals 25?
Yeah, so the answer would be, and I'm going to write it over here because I really want to show you the tricks on how to solve it. The answer is X equals 25.
Okay.
28 minus 30.
Yeah, you subtract 3 from each side. And then... Hey, what? Subtract? What?
Yeah. So when you're looking at an equation,
Yeah,
some of you guys have had some experience with it. One thing that we can do, and the golden rule of algebra is do unto one side of the equation as you do unto the other. We have our question mark. Plus 3 equals 28. One thing that we can do is we can just subtract 3 on each side. That way we will kill this 3 off. Since it's a plus 3, if I want to kill it, I subtract 3. So I put a little minus 3. But if you put a minus 3 on the left side, you got to put a minus 3 on the right side to keep it even. Everything has to be done evenly. So if you do something on the left, you do it on the right. Do one to the left side as you do one to the right side. Then you go, what is 3 minus 3?
0.
0. And this is why you cross this out. 3 minus 3 is 0. And now it's just the question mark equals, what's 28 minus 3?
25.
25. Or X equals 25. But instead of having your mind blown, think of it when you see X plus 3 is 28 as what number plus 3 equals 28. And then the minusing 3, like Coleman said, is just kind of one of the methods we use to simplify and solve the equation. Okay, look at this one. 7 plus X equals 18. So this means 7 plus what number would give you 18? And you should be able to figure that out without having to do anything pencil.
11.
Yeah. 7, you go 7 plus 10, now that's 17. So 7 plus 11 is 18. So then the answer really is, you can write it really small down here, X must be 11. Because 7 plus 11 is 18. Now here's how we're going to solve it though. Because as these things get more and more and more complicated, we want to learn these simple little steps to solve equations. You got 7 plus X equals 18. Underline the X really quick. That's the X. When you're doing an equation, your goal is really to do what's called isolate the variable. Isolate the x. You know what the word isolate means?
Get it by itself.
Yeah, get it by itself. If you're isolated, nobody here is really isolated, but if I took Patrick, because Patrick's being bad, and I said, go sit at that back table, what I've done is I've isolated him, because he's back there by himself. So he, right up here, he's with his buddies, back there. You don't have to go back there. You're good right there. But if I moved him back there, he would be isolated. That's what X wants to be done. X wants to be isolated. X is some sort of troublemaker. Wants to be isolated. So you go, what's on the left side with the X? 7. So let's get the 7 away. And what you do is, it's like you got 7 little ones over here. So you subtract 7. Put a minus 7 right underneath it. However, if you subtract 7 from the left side, what do you have to do to the right side?
Subtract 7.
You have to. You can't just subtract 7 on the left and say that's fair. You got to subtract 7 here. You got to subtract 7 there. So this crosses out. 7 minus 7 is nothing. So now you got rid of the number. And all you have is the x on the left side. The right side is now 18 minus 7, which is 11. These are really simple one-step equations. If you'll just do one thing right, you can figure out what x is. All right, example number 3. This time, where is the x located?
On the right side.
Yeah, it's located on the right side. So give it a little underline. There's the x. Think of the x as a troubled child. It wants to be what?
Isolated.
It wants to be isolated. Is there anything over there on x's side that's other than x?
9.
9 is over here. So what we need to do is kill that 9 off so x can be by itself. So if you have a positive 9, what kills a positive 9?
Negative 9.
Minus 9, negative 9. So put a negative 9 or a minus 9 underneath it. But the golden rule of algebra says if you put a minus 9 on the right, what do you got to put on the left?
Minus 9.
Minus 9 on the left. Like that. All right, the positive 9 and the negative 9 do what?
Cross out.
Cross out. 9 minus 9 is 0, and you don't need to put a 0 right there. So on the right side, now you have x isolated. What is 15 minus 9?
6.
And you end up with 6 equals x. And in an equation, 6 equals x is the same as x equals 6. You won't ever see 6 equals x as an answer in a multiple choice question, but you will see x equals 6. Same thing. 6 is x, x is 6. You have found out, once you got it isolated, you found out the mystery number that x was. 15 equals 9 plus 6. Which, these are so easy, they're designed for you to be able to figure them out in your head without working them. But I want you to get the practice of actually working them. All right, where's x on this guy?
On the left.
X on the left, right here. This time it says, what number, if you subtracted 4 from it, would give you 33?
Now you gotta add 40. So
Yeah, it's not 29. 29 minus 4 is 25, so it's got to be what? If we're just not trying to, just try to think, what do you think it would be?
7.
It's got, yeah, it's bigger than 33. Is 37 minus 4 33? So yeah, so the answer will be 37. But what we want to do is learn the simple steps to work this out. So x minus 4 is 33. You want to isolate this x. So what is the opposite of minus 4?
Plus 4.
Plus 4. You want to kill this negative 4. So how do you kill the negative 4? With a positive 4. Opposites kill each other. Negative 4 and positive 4 makes nothing. Kills.
Why is Max so violent?
Because the x is a bad child. That's why.
They're fighting over the
Yeah. And here we get 37. Of course, we knew it was 37, but this is how we want to start working our one-steppers. If you see a minus 4, let's add 4 to each side so that x gets isolated. And lastly, example number 4, you got 17 equals negative 3 plus x. Locate the x.
right side.
Far right, is there other junk on that side with it?
Negative 3.
All right, so what we have to do is we have to kill this piece. It's negative 3, so what kills the negative 3?
Positive.
Put a positive 3 here. Put a positive 3 where else?
Under the 17.
On 17. Put plus 3 plus
20
3.
equals x.
The negative 3 and positive 3 kill, and you get 20 equals x. What that really means, the answer is 20. That means the number that x is supposed to be is 20. That means if you looked at the original equation, 17 equals negative 3 plus what? 17 equals negative 3 plus 20. And that is it for equations. What is the difference between expressions
Equal sign.
and equations? The equation has the what?
Equal sign.
Expression does not have the equal sign, and an equation really has how many expressions in it?
2.
2. Equation is an equal sign with an expression on the left and the right, and these things on the left and the right are going to get more and more complicated. But as we get better with our skills, we'll be able to simplify them until we get it really simple, and we can work them back down and find out what x is. All right, that is it. An equation is an equal sign with two expressions on the left and the right.